Thank you very much, Dylan. What a powerful message. What a powerful message throughout the presentation, and such a powerful message to finish on. And perhaps that's the call to action that Sue Williamson was talking about in her presentation. Dylan, thank you for sharing with us the range of research. I know that informs us as learners. It really did get me thinking, what skills do students need, and how are we teaching to enable those skills? That was an interesting challenge to us. How do we know what good teaching is? How do we recruit those teachers that you talked about with the passion that's going to keep them in the profession for 10 years and driving forward effective learning in the classroom? I'd like to finish by thanking Dylan for the clarity with those messages. And really, it's very clear to us. We take what Sue said and what you said, Dylan, and really think about how we might lead so that we have our expert teachers driving change in the classroom to lead legacy. I wondered if we could do some audience participation now before we thank Dylan. You all should have these. And just to participate, as you've been listening for a while, I wondered how you felt about current policy. Dylan gave us a very frank reflection about some of the research and what it tells us about current policy. And we wondered how you might be feeling about that. Are you, number one, motivated by that? Or are you, two, maddened? Current policy, how are you feeling? If you'd like to vote by pressing on this, your green light will show. If you change your mind, you can just overrule it by pressing another button. Very good, you're voting very quickly. Okay, let's close the vote and see what we think. Oh, it teased us. We got a little flat. Oh, there it is. Oh. Dylan, I think we're feeling motivated by you, but slightly maddened by current policy. Let's try another question. This links to what Dylan said. And I'd just like you to have a reflection on your school. How many of your established teachers, so this is 3 years plus, how many of your established teachers are continuing to learn and develop, not just repeating their practice? You can be honest. This is anonymous. Is it 1 over 80% of your staff? Over 50%? Less than 50%? Less than 10? That's great, voting very quickly. Okay, if we can close the vote. Okay, perhaps that links to the call to action. One more question, please. So who influences the way you run your school? Who is your biggest influence? If you could press the first one first, the group that you think influences you most. Let's see what we have here. Okay, let's close the vote. That's good. I think we feel quite pleased that that's the result, don't we, with students at the top there. Okay, I'd just like to thank Professor Dylan William one more time for posing that level of challenge and really getting us thinking. Thank you, Dylan. Okay, our next speaker, I also suspect might not need too much introduction to this audience. Professor Guy Claxton is somebody that really enables us to reflect on pedagogy, reflect on our core purpose, reflect on what is important to us. Guy Claxton has been a leading figure in us understanding how students learn, and more recently has taken his work to the next level in enabling us to understand how our teaching may enable us to, for our students, to be the most effective learners. Following on with the conference theme of C's, co-construction, creativity, etc., one of the pieces of work that Guy has really focused on is how can we create curious, creative, collaborative learners. I know that Guy has posed a challenge this morning, and again I wanted to share a quote from one of this morning's workshops. Guy's reminded me why I love this profession and why it is so important to me. Guy's reminded me about my core purpose to focus on children's learning. I welcome to the stage Professor Guy Claxton.